Since many years ago, the idea of an Indian Uniform Civil Code has been the focus of heated discussion. Between the years 1967 to 1980, Congress split, the Indo-Pakistani War and the emergency imposed by Indira Gandhi took place one after the other in Indian politics. Therefore, political parties did not take any action for UCC. The Bharatiya Jana Sangh mentioned Uniform Civil Code for the first time in its manifesto during the 1967 general elections. Construction of Ram Temple, Article 370 and Uniform Civil Code were the three main points of the BJP manifesto. The BJP is now moving toward a Uniform Civil Code following the construction of the Ram Temple and Article 370. The idea behind a Uniform Civil Code is to create a set of laws that apply to all citizens, regardless of their religious beliefs, and that cover personal issues like marriage, divorce, adoption, inheritance, and succession. It aims to replace the various personal laws that are currently in place and differ based on religious affiliations. Let us explain. Depending on their religion, women in India have different rights regarding inheritance. Under the Hindu Succession Act of 1956, Hindu women have equal rights to inherit property from their parents and have the same entitlement as Hindu men. This act governs the rights of Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs. The rights of married and unmarried daughters are equal, and women are recognized as joint legal heirs for ancestral property partition. According to Muslim personal law, Muslim women are entitled to either a 1/8 or a 1/4 share of their husband's property, depending on the presence of children. However, daughters only receive half as much as sons do. For Christians, Parsis, and Jews, the Indian Succession Act of 1925 applies. A predetermined share is given to Christian women based on the number of children or other relatives they have. Parsi widows receive an equal share as their children, with half of the child's share going to the deceased's parents if they are alive. Indian Constitution's Uniform Civil Code provisions. The state shall endeavour to ensure for the people a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India, as provided for in Article 44 of the Constitution, which is one of the directive principles of state policy. However, as provided for in Article 37, directive principles are guiding principles for government policies and are not enforceable by courts. Why is UCC a controversial topic in India? The debate surrounding the Uniform Civil Code in India is multifaceted and often polarized. Here are some of the key arguments presented by proponents and opponents of a UCC. Religious and cultural diversity. India is a country known for its rich religious and cultural diversity. It is the home of numerous religions, each with its own set of practices, laws, and regulations. The UCC, which seeks to replace specific religious laws with a general code that applies to all citizens, is criticized for posing a threat to this diversity. Critics argue that such a move could undermine the cultural fabric of the country and impinge upon the religious freedom of its citizens. Protection of minority rights. The potential impact on minority communities is one of the main issues brought up by UCC opponents. Personal laws are deeply intertwined with the religious identity and practices of these communities. They argue that imposing a common civil code may dilute the unique rights and protections enjoyed by minority groups and erode their cultural autonomy. Protecting minority rights and preserving their distinct practices is considered crucial in a pluralistic society like India. Political considerations. Politicians frequently use the UCC as a prop in their games and posturing. Political parties and leaders have used the issue to consolidate their vote banks or appeal to their respective constituencies. The sensitive nature of religious identity and the potential impact on minority communities have made it a polarizing topic, with political calculations often taking precedence over genuine discussion on the merits and drawbacks of a UCC. Gender equality and women's rights. Proponents of the UCC argue that implementing a uniform code would promote gender equality and women's rights by eliminating discriminatory practices present in some religious personal laws. They believe that a common code would ensure equal rights in matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, and maintenance. However, opponents contend that gender justice can be achieved within the framework of existing personal laws, and a UCC could inadvertently infringe upon women's rights protected under specific religious practices. National integration. Many feel a common civil code would foster national integration by promoting a sense of unity among diverse religious communities and strengthening the secular fabric of the country. While others say that the issue of IUCC is highly complex and sensitive, given the diversity of religious beliefs and customs in India. Arguments in support of UCC. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar believed that IUCC was desirable but suggested that it continue to be voluntary for the time being due to the significant division in the Constituent Assembly. It is perfectly possible that the future Parliament may make a provision by way of making a beginning that the code shall apply only to those who make a declaration that they are prepared to be bound by it, so that in the initial stage the application of the code may be purely voluntary, so that the fear which my friends have expressed here will be altogether nullified, Ambedkar said in Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly later decided to make the clause a guiding principle rather than a fundamental right as a result. Over the following years, various interventions by the legislature, judiciary, and civil society organizations have aimed to amend personal laws or establish a uniform civil code. Notable judgments contributing to this discourse include Muhammad Ahmad Khan vs. Shah Bano Begum, Jordan Dying Day vs. S.S. Chopra, and Sarla Mudgal vs. Union of India. In the Shah Bano case, the court observed that Article 44 has remained a dead letter, and added that a common civil code will help the cause of national integration by removing disparate loyalties to laws which have conflicting ideologies. It said that the legislative is entrusted with the duty of securing a uniform civil code for the citizens of the country. A beginning has to be made if the constitution is to have any meaning. In the Sarla Mudgal case in 1995, Supreme Court requested the Prime Minister to re-examine Article 44, aiming to establish AUCC throughout India. However, subsequent orders in the Ahmedabad Women Action Group case, 1997, and the Lily Thomas case, 2000, clarified that the court did not direct the government to enact AUCC in the Sarla Mudgal case. Arguments against UCC. The 21st Law Commission brought up a consultation paper on reform of family law in August 2018 in which it said that UCC was neither necessary nor desirable at this stage. It however recommended that existing family laws across religions are modified and codified to tackle discrimination and inequality in personal laws. The Law Commission, which was headed by former Supreme Court Judge B.S. Chauhan, observed, cultural diversity cannot be compromised to the extent that our urge for uniformity itself becomes a reason for threat to the territorial integrity of the nation. While agreeing that various aspects of prevailing personal laws disprivilege women, the Commission however said that it is discrimination and not difference which lies at the root of inequality. It further stated that efforts must be made to balance our diversity with unwavering and conclusive justifications for human rights. It should be noted that the suggestions of law commissions are not binding on the government but act as a reference for further decisions. Why does the BJP care about this matter? Instead of discussing issues like inflation, unemployment, Manipur issue and state autonomy where the BJP government's side is considered weak, issues that the BJP wants will now be discussed. Which countries have uniform civil code? Many modern and developed countries of the world have uniform civil code. These include the United States, Israel, Japan, France, Russia, Britain and many European countries. We invite viewer to comment on your opinion and the pros and cons of UCC. Let's start the discussion first.